Yeah.
$100,000 for like what,
Yeah.
a 60-second TikTok?
Welcome to Filling You In. I'm Subash, and with me is my co-host Coco. Today, we're going to be talking about social media as a whole, its influence, where it's going, where it's been.
Yeah, so like Subash said, we're going to be diving into the complexities of social media today. A good spot to start off with is screen time because
For
like the
sure,
amount
bro.
of because the amount of time that we spend on our phones, it's pretty nuts.
I
So
think it's definitely been crazy, especially over the pandemic. I mean, that definitely probably drastically blew up everyone's screen time, and that like trend of being on your phone longer, at least for me, has definitely carried into like as COVID is starting to like decrease, it's definitely like still carried on those habits. I
yeah,
mean, like how much are you
yeah.
spending on your how much time are you spending on your phone today, would you say?
Yeah, so I mean at its peak, I may have actually been averaging like 12 hours, but now it's
Mm.
more like 10, which is like still wild because
I
what
mean,
is
bro,
that?
I'm not gonna lie, like you're definitely not the only one, but that's on the higher end, bro.
No,
Like for me,
I
it's like 7, 6 hours.
yeah, I definitely have a problem. Um
What's the breakdown though of that? Like, since we're talking about social media today, uh, out of those X amount of hours, like, what would you, how much time are you spending on Instagram or social media as a whole?
I'd say probably about hour half max. So
Mm,
it's not that bad, but I mean, like when you step back and look at it, it's like, what are you actually on Instagram?
yeah.
What are you doing for an hour and 30 minutes? You know?
Well, I mean, I relate to you on that standpoint, except for me, the amount of time I'm spending on apps like Snapchat and Instagram, which we're gonna kind of start off with today. Um, it's high. It's high. I would say it's actually unhealthily high. It's definitely not something that's good, but yeah, I mean, I'm picking up my phone a lot according to research. I mean, teenagers check their phones 70 times a day on average, and 50 to 60 of those pickups are related to social media apps. Um, that definitely is true for me. When I'm on Instagram, I mean, the first thing I open and you see in the top, the area of your screen is stories. Stories are just short pictures or videos of from your friends, from creators. And I mean, yeah. So when you go on Instagram, Coco, what do you see? Like what do you see your like favorite creators? Like, are you seeing friends? Because I just want to see what you're watching when you
Yeah,
get on
so
Instagram.
personally, I don't really follow too many creators, mostly because I don't like when I open up Instagram and then there's like 20 stories from one
Mm,
person. I don't
yeah.
know if you can relate to that. Even some of my friends do it and have to put them on mute. Mostly it's just my friends. I'm checking out what
Yeah.
they're doing. Oh, look, they're at
Mm,
the beach, they're boogie boarding, or
yeah.
they're
No. I mean, for
surfing.
sure.
Yeah.
I think I differentiate a little bit in what you see. I actually follow creators. I follow quite a bit of them. I don't necessarily follow them maybe because they're fully entertaining. I like some of the stuff they're like selling, marketing. It's interesting to see what they're doing. But as far as friends go, I mean, I don't really I follow quite a few people, but I don't check everybody's story. Like I'll specifically scroll through my stories just to see my friends. And I think nowadays on Instagram, the influencer and the whole marketing area of the platform is just dominating over friends and that type of hangout, I guess, type of content. I do think that Instagram is going to die. Um, over the past 1 to 2 years, I mean, Instagram's all just been influencer marketing and business saturated. There's a whole like shop tab on the bottom kind of portion of the screen dedicated to selling products and advertising things to you. It's taking away from the personability that I personally feel on Instagram. Like it just doesn't feel like the platform anymore where I see my friends. It just doesn't.
Yeah, definitely. And I think the thing about it is, what are you using it for? Because if you're going to use it as a communicator for things like DMs and things like that, then honestly, it works. It works great, fantastic still. But if you're going on it to find like things like new interests and see like what your friends are doing, I'm
Yeah,
definitely seeing a lot more sponsored posts and things like
facts,
that.
facts.
And I think it's just become dominated by big names, big companies,
Mhm.
and like you said, it's junk. It's super junk.
Now we transition to what people refer to as Instagram's biggest competitor, arguably, which is Snapchat. On the other hand, Snapchat has definitely become the forefront of like communicating with your friends and really being a social media platform. When I get on Snapchat, I don't like check and look at my favorite influencers' stories. I just don't. I maybe have one or two people that are quote unquote influencers that I watch. That's it. The rest of it are my friends. It's just my preferred place to communicate with my friends.
And is that because you can the messages are disappear?
I think that's an interesting aspect of Snapchat. It's definitely something that's driving them to be ahead of other platforms. I mean, you know, sometimes when you're in a text message or you're opening your message with your friends, you might scroll up a little bit and see what you're last talking about. Might kill a vibe. You never know. I mean, it's like a clean slate. Like you're starting a new conversation. Like when you encounter somebody in real life, do you see all the previous things that you've said right in front of you? No, it's a clean, fresh conversation. And I think that's where something like Snapchat just it just it's just different. But I mean that's definitely been abused. I think we all know that. But in a social aspect, I mean, I think it's a pretty cool feature.
Yeah, I personally I see Snapchat as budget Instagram because I mean Instagram actually stole the
Mm-hmm.
stories feature from Snapchat, and now they also have this like vanish mode in Instagram DMs where
Yeah.
what you send is like it'll
Let's be
disappear.
real though, who's actually using that? Like I think people are, but it just doesn't. I don't think it slides into the UI in my standpoint, and it's just like I don't know. I just don't think it's in the app correctly.
I think it's good for them to at least offer that feature. Another thing I think that Snapchat is great for is snap maps. I mean
Mm,
that's a feature that Instagram doesn't have. I think that's like way more. It's like, yo, I'm at
yeah.
Kahalama. Anybody else here? Oh, look,
Yeah.
my friend's here. Okay, let's go
Yeah.
meet up. You know?
See, I have a major argument to that. Let's say there's something somebody needed from me or had an enemy or someone didn't like me and they needed to find me and they wanted to do bad things to me. Let's say they got into my friend's phone somehow. I had my location on. Now they know where I am. Sure, maybe it depends what your settings are, but sometimes it'll only update when you're on Snapchat. Sometimes it's constantly updating. But dude, that's scary to me. Okay, now moving on from Snapchat, we're gonna move into Twitter. Twitter is definitely an interesting platform. What do you think?
I mean, I think it's a shouting match, honestly. Who can write the most absurd tweet, get the most amount of retweets, get the most likes,
Yeah,
and that's pretty
yeah.
much what happens.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm addicted. Now, let me explain why. I like being able to open my phone and read text and see exactly what my favorite people, friends, I don't really have my friends on there. It's more like maybe some of my online friends, just see what they're saying in real time. And I am so addicted to Twitter. It's a problem, it's an issue. Thinking about Twitter as a whole, it is so toxic. It is one of the, if not the most toxic platform you could possibly be on.
Toxic because you spend a lot of time on it and you're addicted to it, or toxic
I'm not talking
because
I'm not talking about that, bro. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about toxic in the way, like you said, it's a shouting match, dude. There's not a lot of positivity on the app. It's there maybe at one point there was, but right now it's not a great place to be, dude.
I've seen some tweets that have like crash markets from Elon Musk and things like that. I don't really have a deep understanding of Twitter and all of its complexities. Moving on to more of a, well, in my case, I think TikTok is the most addictive social media platform out.
Woo! All right, bro. TikTok, geez, TikTok has taken over the world like a storm, bro. It's a storm. TikTok carried everyone through quarantine. TikTok is everyone's go-to app. There is so much to dive into here, dude. The algorithm. We're gonna start talking about the algorithm. What's getting people blowing up overnight, dude? Probably the biggest name on TikTok, Charlie D'Amelio.
I'm gonna be honest. I have an understanding of these TikTok creators, who they are, but I got a confession. I don't have TikTok.
You need to get on it now. It is so addicting. Every little thing I see on TikTok, I'd say 90% of the content I see, I'm interested in, which is why everybody loves it.
I totally agree. And I mean, gosh, it's genius. Whoever came up with that algorithm needs to get a raise. It's like going to a place that remembers what you like, it serves you what you like for free. And I mean, I think what's more interesting is how TikTok creators have now come into the mainstream, and you see them on
Mm,
things like Jimmy Fallon. Like, what? You have these people who
Addison Ray, bro, on
exactly
Jimmy Fallon.
like people you have never heard of, like 4 years ago. Now, some of the most highly paid influencers in the world.
Yeah,
It's totally nuts.
I think not 4 years ago, bro. I think 4 months ago. It's crazy. Who was Addison Ray a year and a half ago?
And I think we should definitely get into why the Walmart purchasing of TikTok was such a huge deal.
Think about it, right? What does Walmart have in their tool belt right now? Direct access to every big influencer on TikTok, and they have basically the internet in their pocket. I don't think people realize that.
I think it was a weird buy. It was like, why is Walmart,
Yeah,
this store that I go to, buying TikTok?
yeah,
It was very odd. But when you look more deep into it, it was a super strategic play. I think it's super interesting because now that all these TikTokers had that scare of, oh my gosh, I may lose all my followers, and they
mm,
transitioned over YouTube, now we have a new line of YouTube creators coming from TikTok. Sort of like the
100%, bro.
transition we saw when Vine, when Vine lost all of its hype. And now
Logan
you have
Paul,
Logan Paul, Jake Paul, David Dobrik,
all
Cody
of them.
Ko, all those guys.
Yeah, and that's happening again. It's another pattern, bro.
Exactly.
If you look back into like what happened with Vine, what happened with Musically, what happened with not even either of those websites, other types of platforms, there was a repeating pattern. There are patterns in what's happening with the platforms and its creators and how they're shifting between each other. But aside from that, yeah, I mean, right now we're seeing a lot of big TikTokers go up onto YouTube. There's a big word here, and it's longevity. And that's where I think that plays into what's going on with TikTok. A lot of these creators, I mean, they might have strong followings on TikTok, but they could be weak on other platforms. So even if TikTok did quote unquote die, or even if their page died, they still have a loyal, devoted fan base on their other platforms, which is why I think a lot of them are moving into YouTube.
Yeah, and another thing that's going on is the revival of creator houses. I mean,
Mm,
the OGs were like Phase House and Cloud House and things like that. I think it's super strategic for them to go this route just
yeah,
because having that amount of creators in one place and creating content.
bro, it's crazy. And I mean, with that, we see TikTok brands, Annie Energy, which I believe Bryce Hall and Josh Richards started together because of these connections and how because of these creators are collaborating with each other, these types of things are happening. And other, it might not even be considered a brand, but there's other forms of content and I guess you could say products that these TikTokers are selling. What's the biggest one right now? Music. Bella Porch, Dixie D'Amelio, Addison Ray, Alex Warren, who else? Countless other people. They're all dropping songs. They're all dropping, maybe albums. They're getting features. Who cares if their music sucks, right? If you have 15 million followers and 500,000 of those people go over and listen to your song, that's about, I believe that's about $1,500. You'd probably get a lot more people going over to listen. And that's a product. You're selling units, you're selling a song. That's also a product. And even if the song sucks, bro, your name is on it and you're making a lot of money from it.
Something that I think is crazy is how much some of these TikTokers were getting paid for sponsored posts. I believe it was
Yeah.
David Dobrik's podcast where they were asking Madison Beer, like, how much is the most a company has offered you? And she was talking about how she had her friend who had gotten an offer for $100,000 to make one TikTok post.
Yeah.
$100,000 for like what,
Yeah.
a 60-second TikTok?
TikTok is in the lead. TikTok is leading right now. And what happens with a leader? Everybody follows. Right now, Instagram, YouTube, and Snapchat are all currently having their own versions of TikTok, right? We're going to start off with Instagram. Instagram has Instagram Reels. What are your thoughts on Instagram Reels?
I mean, that's where I see all of my like TikToks. That's where I'd see the TikToks that be on TikTok. So, I mean, I think it's pretty good. I think the way that their UI is, I think it's pretty terrible. It's pretty terrible.
Mm, but it's the people's attention spans are so short right now. How many people out there right now? would sit and watch a 10-minute video, right? Versus sit down and watch 5 30-second videos. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Like it's definitely the five 30-second videos, which is TikTok. If you think about it, no one wants to sit there and watch the same thing for that long, which is why everybody right now wants to do that short form thing. If everybody had to be compared to who's mimicking TikTok the best, it'd probably be Instagram. I mean, they did it first. Actually, yeah, no, I think they did it first. They've been known to mimic, like we talked about earlier, how they stole the Instagram stories idea from Snapchat. Um, I think that's where all the social media platforms are going right now.
Snapchat Spotlight compared to Instagram Reels
Mm,
is not even close. Snapchat
no,
Spotlight
yeah.
is terrible.
I'm sure they're definitely getting a lot of views. They're definitely selling ads, that's for sure. I think we're undermining a little bit how many people click on it, right? How many people do you think maybe are bored and click on it for 15 seconds every single day, right? At
Yeah.
least 100,000. That's still selling ads. Guess who else is copying it? YouTube Shorts. And currently, aside from TikTok, YouTube Shorts is the only other short form, quick kind of content um, platform that is monetized. TikTok has the creator fund, which a lot of creators are making money off of, but YouTube is actually monetized their YouTube Shorts. And dude, they're doing really well. I don't think the way to access YouTube Shorts is 100% great yet. I think they're going to just slowly, update by update, make YouTube Shorts really part of the YouTube platform.
If YouTube is able to seamlessly, like, pretty much just take what TikTok has and bring it onto their platform,
Yeah,
they rise back up to the king
that's for sure.
because they have the advertisers, they have the
Yeah,
money, they're backed by
yeah,
Google, they have a
yeah,
lot of creators. Everybody wants to go over to YouTube. You see all these like creators starting a YouTube
hmm
channel. They don't go in it. You don't go from like YouTube and then you go to Instagram. You go from like Instagram to YouTube because
for
that's where the
sure.
money is. Like, how much of an influence do these creators have on us nowadays?
Yeah, it's crazy. For a lot of people, they're an escape and they've weaved into people's lives. No matter what platform you're watching creators on, they're in your life. Like they're just straight up in your life. They influence who we are. They influence, how we do things, how we interact with people. Even sometimes we don't even know. It's crazy. We don't even know, but there's definitely a positive and a negative part to that.
And I think it's just like overall, social media as a whole, their influence on us is absolutely
I
crazy.
think our generation is going to be the generation that's going to raise really, well-rounded kids because we know the effects of social media. And, you know, that's just I think that's a topic for another day. I think that's a great place to wrap it up. I think that's a great place to close it. Do you have any closing remarks before I wrap this up?
Nope. To all you listeners at home, thank you for tuning in. Wherever you are, wherever you listen to us, please hit the follow, subscribe, like, and comment. We will definitely be getting into more hot topics as we progress. And until
Definitely.
next time, thank you.